This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by a young man, probably with some butterflies here. A lot of anticipation making his first NFL start.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his...
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go!
The drive begins with a handoff to Andrews. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Malik Jackson there to make the stop. And some concerns caused him to slip to the 5th round. I guess if you're him, the good news is you kind of flew under the radar. Maybe expectations are low. You can come in and prove something.
And a lot to prove because those off-field concerns that creep in on you, you want to prove that they're all wrong, that they don't matter, that you are a much better player than what people picked you.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Derek Wolfe. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Flush to his right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way. Now the ball comes loose.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And Denver getting set to take the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves, maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one. All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. And credit the tackle to Derek Barnett. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
Let's focus outside on Demaryius Thomas. His numbers were down slightly last year. First time in the last 5 years he didn't top 1,000 yards. But this guy's been to 5 Pro Bowls. And when I think about the evolution of his career, from his time at Georgia Tech where they were running an option offense and he didn't catch much more than bombs, to now being a complete receiver, no reason in my mind to think he won't be over 1,000 yards again in the future.
Now back to throw. Man open. He's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them. Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendencies. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain,
still second down.
Not on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold. Now Hundley. His throw incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. Third down here.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Throwing, Hundley. Hard throw, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. And taken right on the 30. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And the Broncos take over. First down and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field.
And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there. And he's got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down. And the defense now for the Eagles.
Jordan Hicks battled a lot of injuries while at the University of Texas, but his last season there played up to the potential they saw when he was coming out of high school. Well over 100 tackles, ranged from sideline to sideline, could also drop into pass coverage, and now uses his intelligence to run the entire Philadelphia Eagles defense from the middle linebacker position.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. He'll drop to throw. Complete left side, the tight end Rodgers. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll drop the throw. He's got the first down here inside the 30. How did he stay on his feet? And finally out of bounds all the way down at about the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch.
Got his man, it's Thomas. Touchdown, Denver. Demaryius Thomas, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos have taken the early lead. So it goes for a rookie quarterback. He had the INT earlier in this first half, but he bounces back with a touchdown pass.
And you have to like the mental acumen, the toughness, the fortitude of him, because oftentimes for a rookie, you throw an interception early, you're taken right out of the game, or mentally you check out a little bit. Give him a lot of credit for bouncing back.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. Extra point from McManus is good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with a Denver touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here comes Andrews. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Fletcher Cox coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Derek Barnett in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the first half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so they can throw the football.
Here's Marquette King now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll look to throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Shaquille Barrett. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. This is the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. And now working their way back onto the field, the Eagles defense. And despite being down on the scoreboard, this unit, they've had some big-time hits.
Sort of like us at practice the other day. I saw you take a running start at that blocking sled. You took it down.
Bounced off like a rubber band.
No, not at all, but you're exactly right. They are doing their job, but they want to add takeaways to it. You need to have more of those to go along with the big hits we're seeing.
By the way, when I tried that and I bounced back, I noticed that you laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just told me a joke on the other side.
Right,
I missed that. Totally missed it.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Second down, Freeman. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Here we go. What? 90.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 at enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Hey, come on, let's go. What? 90.
Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
To win. In any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go. What? 90.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 more there and another first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Here we go.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out.
Here we go. What? 90.
Freeman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Can see this quite a bit on running plays when the guy's out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. And I'll take that close.
And they'll get to him just inside the 15. Even after the strong run we just saw, they're able to corral him quickly defensively. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
Here we go. What? 90.
They'll look to throw here. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Nigel Bradham in there to make the play. It'll be a loss of 14, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out is Brett Hundley and the rest of the offense as they'll take over here. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
They start on the ground with Andrews. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Back to throw now on first down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Von Miller in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's going to go down again. Von Miller in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now Cortland Sutton and the rest of the offense getting ready for their next drive. 2nd quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Let's go! 38!
Back to throw here. And he connects with Ebron. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, Creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They're going to look to throw, and his throw is incomplete. The Broncos on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
Here we go. Brand 38. Brand 38.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. He'll look to throw. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll set up a throw, and he connects with Ertz. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the 1st down. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they'll go on the ground. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
Flex round! Flex round!
Looking to throw. He finds Aguilar over the middle. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver 1st down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham. loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? And on the ground they go with the running back. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10.
Here we go.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Caught by the tight end, Ertz. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Come on, let's go.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. 2 minutes to go here in the 1st half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. They'll set up to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. He showed off a nice juke of the defender, but the next wave there to bring him down. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Being chased out left. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Ryan 38.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the 1st half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the 1st half.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place. As they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
Here we go!
Out of the gun now on third down. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout, as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Out is Brett Hundley and the rest of the offense as they'll take over here. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So that play much needed there, as they're all the way up near the 40 for a 1st and 10. Throwing, Hundley. Wide open receiver, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Hundley. He's going to fire one deep. And this is caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Dallas Goedert in the final seconds of the first half. There the Eagles are back within a score. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. Elliott now to kick this one away. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend, as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll get started out on the West Coast in Oakland. And it's the Raiders who have the lead in that one. The Raiders trying to start the season right, and is looking good so far at home. From there, we head up the Pacific Coast to Seattle to check on the Seahawks at home at CenturyLink Field. And they trail in their ball game at halftime to the visiting Carolina Panthers. The Panthers looking for the win on the road in Week 1. Finally, let's get right to the center of the U.S. map to check in on the Chiefs at home in Kansas City. And they were losers in their ball game to the visiting Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys get off to a hot start as they get the road victory in their opener. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here we go. Brand 38.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. On the move to his left. Oh, nearly picked. Almost intercepted, but he couldn't hang on, and it's 3rd down.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Come on, let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball to their territory.
And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 7.
Come on, let's go.
He'll look to throw. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Timmy Jernigan. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Here's Marquette King now. He's been terrific so far. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. That's pulled in at the 32. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Philadelphia getting set to take the field.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Come on, let's go. What? 90.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
On play action, they'll throw. Aguilar has it. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback.
Oh. And this is going to be intercepted. Snags it for the pick.
As much football as we watch, we've seen this work many times. In the red zone, first down, take a shot at the end zone, and points result. In this case, though, give credit to the defense. They outguessed them, were prepared, and intercepted the pass.
They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. And get this up over the 25 to the 26.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
Come on, let's go.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Let's go.
On third down, it's Freeman. And a juke this time. And now running. It's a foot race. 30, 20, 10, 5, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Royce Freeman, 71 yards. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Here comes Andrews. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do.
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Hundley now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller getting him once again, his third sack of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film section tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally. And the pressure gets to him again. Von Miller. Who else? He's in there for his fourth sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Fielded at the 20. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. And not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still second down.
So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15.
Come on, let's go!
They'll drop the throw. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 11.
Here we go!
They'll look to throw here. Ebron with it over the middle. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Back to throw here. Able to get away. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And it's fielded at the 34. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So the Broncos coming out now. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5. A full start backs him up 5. 1st and 15.
Here we go. What?
They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go. Brand 38.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to record another sack. Their 6th of the afternoon. Well, it was 2nd and long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
And he connects with Ebron. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Back to throw. Complete left side, the tight end Rodgers. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. 23 yards on the play.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. They'll look to throw again. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
He'll get it up the middle. And they get him down at the 1. He had the broken tackle, but ultimately could not get into the end zone. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with 3rd down upcoming.
Let's go. What?
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th. They'll look to run with Freeman. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. They'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They're going to look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Hurts over the middle, and they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
They'll set it. And he'll hit Jeffrey, complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
This will be caught just inside the 10. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Rolling to his left. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Jerry Hughes able to get him for a loss of about 3.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. They'll set up a throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Von Miller in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The offense trots back onto the field, and we take an in-depth look at Royce Freeman. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. Big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. Over 100 yards receiving for him now in the opener, and it's a first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Let's go! Brand 38!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Cortland Sutton, 59 yards. And the Broncos will extend their lead. Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It certainly is. Any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
A little work still to do, though. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Throwing, Hundley. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Looking deep downfield. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now Hundley. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Flex round! Flex round!
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Shaquille Barrett in there to pick up his 2nd sack now up. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing